Greetings, dear audience. Welcome to the Meghan and Harry Tales channel. I'm your guide on this royal journey, your host Kelly. Here we celebrate the love and unity that Harry and Meghan embody. So, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and show some love to our favourite royal couple. Now let's dive into today's intriguing topic. Why does Prime Minister Starmer hold his wife's hand, like Harry and Meghan? An intriguing question that has everyone talking. Recently, the Telegraph has been quite interested in the new Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. Indeed, their fascination extends beyond his political strategies and into seemingly mundane aspects of his personal life. One such topic that's been drumming up a storm lately is his public display of affection towards his wife, Lady Victoria Starmer. Now, one might wonder, what's peculiar about a man expressing love for his wife? Well, the answer lies in the cultural context of British society. In the land of stiff upper lips and reserved demeanours, public displays of affection have been traditionally frowned upon. The sight of the Starmers openly expressing their affection by holding hands in public has thus sparked a wave of controversy. The Telegraph, with its keen eye for societal norms, has picked up on this and posed an intriguing question. Why does Keir Starmer hold his wife's hand in public? The underlying assumption here is that such a display of affection is a calculated move, a strategy to project a particular image. The Telegraph suggests that the Starmers, by holding hands, are trying to project an image of unity and team spirit. However, this interpretation has not gone down well with everyone. Some see it as an overreach, an unnecessary intrusion into the personal life of the Prime Minister. Others argue that if Starmer is indeed using hand-holding as a political strategy, then it's a welcome change from the cold, unemotional image often associated with political leaders. Yet the controversy doesn't end there. The Telegraph's observation has opened a Pandora's box of sorts, leading to heated discussions about societal norms, the personal lives of politicians, and even comparisons with other famous couples, notably the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Hand-holding, it seems, has become a political statement, and not everyone is pleased. As the debate rages on, it's clear that this simple act of affection has taken on a life of its own, becoming a symbol of cultural shifts, political strategies, and societal norms. The question remains, is this the new British way, or is it just a passing fad? Only time will tell. But the Telegraph didn't stop there. They swung the spotlight towards the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Suddenly, the Starmers were no longer the sole couple under scrutiny. Harry and Meghan found themselves thrust into the conversation as well. The Telegraph began to draw comparisons, not just between the Starmers and the Sussexes, but more specifically, their hand-holding habits. As we all know, Harry and Meghan have often been seen in public, hands entwined, projecting an image of unity, love, and mutual support. The Starmers, too, have been spotted displaying similar affection, which, according to the Telegraph, is a projection of a united front and teamwork. However, the reactions to these two couples and their hand-holding habits have been starkly different. When it comes to the Starmers, their public display of affection has been met with criticism and disapproval. Yet, when the Sussexes do the same, Meghan is labelled as needy, clingy and desperate. This has led to a barrage of questions. Why is the same action perceived differently? Why is it that when the Sussexes hold hands, it's seen as a sign of neediness, but when the Starmers do it, it's a symbol of unity? Why is Meghan painted as desperate when she displays affection towards her husband, but Lady Victoria Starmer is spared from such judgment? Is it because the Sussexes are more high profile? Or is it because they've always been the subject of intense media scrutiny? Or perhaps, is there a more sinister undertone to this disparity? Is this another example of the media's bias and double standard when it comes to Meghan Markle? These are questions many have asked, yet no satisfactory answers have been provided. All we know is that the same action has elicited different reactions, and this discrepancy has left many puzzled and frustrated. So why the double standard? It's a question that's left many puzzled. It seems that the answer, much like the reason behind the Telegraph's obsession with hand-holding, remains elusive. But one thing is clear. The Sussexes, like the Starmers, deserve to express affection without judgment or criticism. After all, isn't love, unity and support what a marriage is all about? There's an old saying, "That's not the British way." Now, this phrase often refers to the British tradition of restraint, particularly in public displays of affection. It's a tradition that's as old as the monarchy itself, with the royals often embodying this stiff upper lip mentality. But it seems not all the royals, and certainly not all the politicians, are playing by these unwritten rules anymore. Take the Starmers and the Sussexes, for example. Their apparent warmth and affection for each other, so openly displayed, is a far cry from the usual British demeanour. They hold hands, they touch, they lean in close, and they even dare to look like they enjoy each other's company. Shocking, isn't it? But why should it be? Why should expressing love for your partner be seen as a breach of protocol? Yet, this is where we find ourselves. In a world where a loving gesture between a husband and wife, a prince and a duchess, is scrutinised and criticised, it's as if the very fabric of British society is being threatened by these acts of affection. But is it really? Or is it just that the definition of the British way is evolving, and some are finding it hard to keep up? You see, traditions are important. They give us a sense of identity, a sense of belonging. But traditions need to evolve too, just as societies do. And it seems that Britain, or at least some parts of it, is struggling with this evolution. The Starmers and the Sussexes are not breaking any laws. They're not causing harm. They're simply expressing their love for each other. And while this may not be the British way of old, perhaps it's time for a new British way, a way that allows for a bit more warmth, a bit more love, a bit more humanity. The British way may be changing and not everyone is ready for it. It seems the Sussexes can't escape their critics. No matter what they do, no matter how trivial or inconsequential, their actions are dissected, analysed, and often ridiculed. And the most recent hand-holding controversy is a glaring testament to this. These critics, or as we may call them, the bitter haters, seem to have a field day over everything the Sussexes and now the Starmers do. But what is truly fascinating is the fact that these critiques reveal far more about the critics than the couples themselves. Let's take a closer look. The act of holding hands, a simple gesture of unity and affection, is transformed into a subject of national debate. But why? What makes this act so controversial, so discussion-worthy? Could it be that these critics are uncomfortable with public displays of affection? Or is it perhaps that they are unable to accept that these couples are rewriting the rules, challenging the norms and daring to be different? When the Starmers hold hands, they're seen as presenting a united front. But when the Sussexes do the same, they're labelled as needy and desperate. This contradiction is telling. It's not about the act of holding hands. It's about the people doing it. It's about the fact that these couples are challenging the status quo. And that's something that these bitter haters find hard to swallow. Moreover, let's not forget that these critics also serve to remind us of the cold, unaffectionate image that the Windsors have often been associated with. Their bitterness only underscores the stark contrast between the old royal ways and the new path that the Sussexes and now the Starmers are forging. In the end, what we're seeing is a classic case of resistance to change. The Sussexes and now the Starmers are shaking things up. They're challenging the norms. They're daring to be affectionate. They're daring to be different. And it's making some people very uncomfortable. But as the saying goes, you can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs. And sometimes that's exactly what progress looks like. In the end, it's not just about hand-holding, it's about the changing norms of affection and the resistance against these changes. The Telegraph's observation of Prime Minister Starmer's public display of affection towards his wife, Lady Victoria Starmer, sparked a debate that extends to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan. This debate is not merely about whether or not couples should hold hands in public. It's about the image they project, the unity they symbolise, and the warmth they radiate. It's about questioning the British way, the notion that public figures should maintain a certain degree of stoicism and emotional reserve. The criticism towards the Starmers and the Sussexes is a reflection of the bitter haters, those who can't seem to appreciate the warmth and affection these couples share. It reveals their inability to adapt to changing norms and their eagerness to throw tantrums over the smallest details. And yet, amidst the criticism and the bitterness, the Starmers and the Sussexes continue to hold hands, to show affection, to challenge norms. They continue to remind us that it's okay to be affectionate, to be united, to be a team, even when you're in the public eye. In conclusion, it's not about the hand-holding, it's about challenging norms, embracing change, and celebrating love. Thank you everyone for watching the video. Remember to subscribe, share, and leave a comment. I'm your loyal host, Kelly, signing off.